What's good, everyone? It's Punza. We're back with another video. Today I'm going to show you how to make a rod wave type beat, something soulful and emotional. I'll play you the beat and then let's get right into it. Yeah, the sample on this beat just goes crazy. Now let's break down how I made this beat and go over everything from the sounds to the drums. The first sound I used in this beat is a piano. I used Keyscape and I used the LA Custom C7 Cinematic preset. I turned the character to dark. I'm going to play you the chord progression and then we'll break it down. Yeah, so I have guitar in this beat, so I wanted to keep the piano simple. I just copied the pattern over twice. I used a 4-1-5 chord progression, and I have the top notes higher up on the octaves just to add some more emotion. I added some filler notes over here, as you can see, that transition into the next chord, and that's basically all I did for this chord progression. For the effects on the piano, I used a Valhalla Vintage Verb. These are my settings. I used a Fruity Delay 2. I turned the time to 2 and the feedback to ping pong. And I set the mix level to 6%, and then I just EQ'd out some low end. The next thing I did is I added a top line. I used the exact same Keyscape preset, the LA Custom C7 Cinematic, and the character is still turned to dark. I'll play you the top line and then I'll give you some tips on how you can make your own. Yeah, so depending on what kind of beat it is, you want to keep it simple, but if it's something more soulful for like a YB beat, you can go a little bit more crazy with it. So what you want to do for these top lines basically is find notes that sound good together, and you can move up and down the scale, and that usually sounds all right. Just find what works for you and really take your time when you're making these melodies. For the effects on this top line, I have the exact same effects as the chord progression. These are my settings. Valhalla Vintage Verb. I used a Fruity Delay 3. And I set the mix level to 6%. And I EQ'd out some low end. The next thing I did is I added a pad. I used the Heaven Shores pad from Omnisphere. I'll play you the chord progression and then we'll break it down. Yeah, so this is a beautiful sounding pad. What I did is I basically copied the chord progression from the piano and I just used the exact same one. The effects are what really make it shine though. I used the Valhalla Vintage Verb. These are my settings. I EQ'd a lot of high end and low end just to give it a nice mid-range feel in the beat, and I used a mid-side Matrix 3 and I used the wide preset. Yeah, so the next thing I did is I played some chords and a guitar phrase on my electric guitar. These may be included in an upcoming kit, but I'm definitely going to include a lot in that kit, so we'll see what makes it to the final cut. But stay tuned for that because it's going to be crazy. I'll play it for you just so you can hear what it sounds like. Yeah, they just make the beat sound way more complete and add a lot of texture to it. You definitely want that for rod wave type beats. So stay tuned for my upcoming kit because I can't wait to share it with you. Yeah, so the next thing I did is I added a vocal from Suno. I'll make a separate video showing you how you can get these exact vocals as well. So stay tuned for that, but I'll just play it for you so you can hear what it sounds like. Yeah, so those are some beautiful vocals. Actually goes really crazy in this beat. So let's break down the effects on the vocals. I EQ'd out a lot of high end and low end. I used the UAD API channel strip, and I used the glossy background vocal preset. I added some Valhalla vintage verb as well, with the mix turned really high, and I added some Fruity Delay 3 with the mix level at 12%. Yeah, now let's go over the drums. I'll play them for you so you can hear what they sound like. Yeah, so I used an 808 pattern that is typical on these rod wave beats. For the clap, I just kept it simple clap pattern. For the hi-hats, I added some rolls, kept it simple, and I added an open hat, and I just layered it with the 808s as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more because I'm going to go more in depth and do live cook-ups and also show you how I make these samples with the guitar as well. And we'll have 1 to 2 videos coming out every single week. We're going to do beats for artists such as NBA Youngboy, Rod Wave, Lil Durk, and much more. We'll also have some R&B videos coming out in the future, so stay tuned for that. I'm also going to be working on this kit for you guys. I want to drop it at around 1K subs, so if you enjoy this video, sub for more.